Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to decode a mathematical pattern that's pretty much hidden in plain sight, in everything from ancient artifacts to your bank account. It's a powerful force that governs how things grow and, well, how they fade away.
All right, so here's a thought. To really get a handle on how things grow, we've actually got to start with how they disappear. And we'll begin with a really simple, intuitive idea called half-life. It's the perfect way in because it shows this idea of exponential change in a way we can all instantly grasp.
So what is half-life? Think of it like a super predictable schedule for decay. It's not random at all. It's this constant, repeating process of something having itself over a fixed period of time. Let's make this real. Imagine we have some substance with a 10-year half-life. We start with 1,000 grams. After 1 decade, boom, we have 500. After another 10 years, we're down to 250, then 125. See the pattern? With each passing decade, exactly half of it just vanishes. It's this powerful, predictable countdown.
And this isn't just some math problem, you know? This is real-world stuff. It's how scientists use the half-life of carbon-14, which is a staggering 5,730 years, to figure out how old ancient things are. The amount of carbon-14 left is basically a clock, telling us a story from thousands of years ago.
So you might be wondering, how does math actually describe this consistent disappearing act? Well, it turns out there's this one really elegant formula that governs it all.
Okay, now this formula might look a little intense at first, but stick with me. This is the universal code for exponential decay. All it's really saying is that the amount you end up with depends on what you started with, how much time has passed, and some constant rate of decay. But the most important part for us, it's that tiny little negative sign right there. That's the secret ingredient that makes things shrink over time.
And that brings us right back to our first point, right? As Sonia's Academy explains so well, half-life isn't some totally separate idea. It's just a special case of that big, universal formula. It's what you get when you fix the outcome to being exactly 1/2. And here's a simpler way to look at it, which I think just brilliantly nails the core idea. You can figure out the final amount by taking what you started with and just multiplying it by 1/2 over and over again for each half-life period that's gone by. Simple as that. But, decay is really only half the story. So what happens if we take that little negative sign and we flip it to a positive? I mean, if subtraction makes things disappear, what can addition build? And just like that, the entire outcome flips on its head. By changing that one single minus sign to a plus, we shift from decay, like a car's value dropping every year, to growth, like a city's population expanding. It's the exact same logic, just running in reverse.
Okay, so let's dive into that. Let's see how this one simple pattern pops up in all these wildly different parts of our world, from our finances all the way to our daily routines.
All right, let's start with something we all know, the value of a new car. It might depreciate at a rate of, say, 15% per year. Now, that's not a fixed amount of money lost each year. It's a percentage of its current value. And that, my friends, is classic exponential decay. And the result of that? Well, it's pretty staggering. After just 5 years, that brand new car has lost over half of its original value. The drop is fastest right at the beginning, and then it starts to slow down over time. Sound familiar? It's just like half-life. So here's the really crucial point. The exact same logic that makes things disappear can also make them grow, and sometimes with absolutely incredible, accelerating speed. So let's flip it around. Imagine you invest $5,000. Now, instead of losing a percentage, it's gaining a percentage, and that interest just keeps compounding. And check this out. After just 12 years at a 6% interest rate, that initial investment has more than doubled. It didn't just grow in a straight line. It followed this beautiful, upward exponential curve, with the growth actually getting faster and faster over time. And this isn't just about money, right? The exact same mathematical model that grows your investment also happens to predict how populations expand. A steady percentage growth rate applied year after year leads to an explosion in numbers. To put that in perspective, a city with a steady growth rate of just 2.5% per year would be on track to literally double its population in just under 28 years. That's fast. And believe it or not, you probably have an example of this sitting on your desk right now.
According to Newton's law of cooling, the temperature of your hot coffee doesn't drop in a straight line. Nope, it follows an exponential decay curve as it slowly cools down towards room temperature.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? I mean, we've talked about atoms, cars, money, people, even coffee, and they're all following the same fundamental rule of change.
It really all comes down to this simple idea. Growth and decay aren't really opposites. They're just two sides of the very same coin, separated by nothing more than a plus or a minus sign. And understanding this one simple flip is like having a hidden code for how the world works.
And the cool thing is, once you see this pattern, you kind of can't unsee it. You start to notice it everywhere, in the speed of technology, in learning a new skill, in the way ideas spread online. So the real question I want to leave you with is this: where in your own life do you see this hidden code at work?